In this movie, there is a love triangle, potentially resolved through brutal means. There is another gigantic battle that, though looks unfair, gets swayed in an instant. There is betrayal, celebration, and stubborn ignorance. This is Ginga Eiyuu Densetsu, Arata Naru Takakai no Overture, or Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Overture to a New War. This is the second video on this series, and the sequel to the last one I analyzed. This is an extended retelling of the first two episodes of the series. After the events of the last OVA, Reinhardt is working on becoming a count and is sent into another battle where his superiors intend for him to die. They even sabotage him, but he is a great tactician and is aided by the genius Siegfried as well. Before heading out to battle, he meets his sister, who is worried about him. Reinhardt is eager to get out into battle and prove himself, but his sister doesn't want him to be too reckless. And it's implied later that Siegfried might have feelings for Reinhardt's sister. Yang comes home only to see his good friend is asking for approval. Approval because he is going to propose to Yang's love interest. He keeps his composure, though obviously bothered by it. He wishes them well, and his two friends get engaged. Yang ends up getting drunk, only to wake up for a meeting before a huge battle he'll be key in accidentally. His housekeeper is also introduced, a 14-year-old boy who wants to be a soldier like his father was. Yang prefers he be a chef since he is skilled at cooking, but Julian is determined to fight. The battle begins. The Empire once again goes against the Alliance. The Empire has an army half as big as the Alliance, but to the surprise of his superiors, Reinhardt has a masterful plan. The Alliance plans to split their forces three ways and have planned to surround and destroy the Empire. Reinhardt decides his whole army will bunch up and rush at each of the three Alliance fleets one by one, taking them by surprise and out individually. Since Reinhardt has more forces than each Alliance fleet by himself, he is sure it will bring victory. Sure enough, the Alliance gets taken by surprise and is forced to let one of the three fleets get annihilated by the Empire. Yang tries to give the same stubborn commander advice to best counter Reinhardt, but the commander above him is just too ignorant and can't comprehend Yang's genius tactics. He denies Yang. Because of this, they get rushed also, and their ship gets damaged. Debris falls on the commander, severely damaging him. Yes, he is obnoxious, but the man is loyal to the army and cause. He just isn't as tactical a genius as Yang, and too stubborn. But he does allow Yang to take over the fleet before getting rushed for treatment. Unfortunately for Yang's friend Robert, his fleet is the next to get destroyed. The viewer knew this was coming, but Legend of the Galactic Heroes handled this death well. It turns out his commander is even worse than Yang's and won't follow any rational advice. They get surrounded by the Empire, but offered a chance to surrender and turn themselves in. Robert sees this as an opportunity to live and come back to his wife Jessica, but his commander is too foolish and decides to be suicidal and charge regardless. Robert tries to reason with him, but his commander has him arrested. Refusing to surrender, the ship takes massive damage. Robert is on the floor thinking about Jessica, and is then engulfed in flames. The ship explodes. In the final confrontation, Yang is now left only with a small amount of forces compared to the Empire, but he uses his overconfidence that they have and his own genius to split his forces around Reinhardt and to get behind them. Reinhardt tries to counter and the battlefield changes. Both forces are now forming a ring with their ships all mixed together. This brings it to a standstill to prevent any more loss of life, and the two forces retreat. Reinhardt sends Yang a message out of respect of his skills, and the battle is over. As usual, the music is high quality and fits the battles of the other scenes majestically. It was tragic to see Robert blow up as Moonlight Sonata played in the background. At the end, both Reinhardt and Yang get promoted, and Yang visits Robert's grave, where the just married but now widowed Jessica weeps. Now it's time for the series and to see where this spectacle goes next. This series is already among my favorites, and Yang and Reinhardt among my favorite characters. It's more greatness that I explained in the last video. The dialogue is complex, deep, and mature. The art is great. The music is fantastic all around. It is everything that I want to see in the series. And now the series is next. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the spectacle goes next. as Reinhard and Yang clash head to head as the two greatest assets of their sides in a huge war. How will it conclude?